So 3 of us, 2 people in animal welfare and 1 veterinarian, got together and decided that the best way forward was a not-for-profit community veterinary clinic ran by volunteers where we could offer low-cost or free services to people so that they can maintain the bond of their animals in their own homes. That way shelters wouldn't become overburdened with animals that, due to the financial constraints of the owners, were finding themselves in pounds. My name's Robin Slattery. I'm one of the co-founders of Regional Community Vet Clinic. A lot of people who haven't known the true love of a companion animal and just what it can bring to you possibly don't understand what we're trying to do. A lot of people think that if you can't afford to have an animal, you shouldn't. We at RCVC are here to enable that relationship to continue with people who are possibly less fortunate than us. That should not mean that they are denied having that true and very pure love of an animal in their lives. With COVID, as we all know, everyone became more isolated, lack of connection to the community, especially for elderly people. A lot of their services weren't able to operate, and they only had their animals for company.
People who are living by themselves, or they've got lack of social resources, they've got lack of economic resources, they've got some health issue, something like dementia, and they're just getting confused. So then they find themselves unable to do what they need for their pets, or they can't get the animal to the vets. Maybe they've got arthritis issues and they can't medicate, they can't put drops in their eyes, or they're just feeling vulnerable and ill-equipped to do what's necessary for their pet. And so that's where we've organised a outreach service for volunteers to go to their house to either medicate or to take the dogs for a walk, or just to touch base and make sure these people, or the people who are isolated and needing this service, are okay.
To get us off the ground, there was at least 12 months of planning, and some of that was just very loose conversations around kitchen tables. The funding from FRRR was a catalyst at the point when we received it. There was a few tears when we found out that we'd received it, because it was the difference between us having the money we needed and not having the money we needed for the project. We apply for lots of grants, but we always make sure that we fit the criteria and that we're at the right stage of our project so that we have the greatest hope of success. There is a lot more people out there asking for money, and the amount of money that's available is a lot less. So you have to stand out in some way, and it's not easy, and there's more rejections than actual wins, but it's important to never give up. If you have a good idea, you know in your heart that it's a good idea for your community, and you will know what you need to do. And you need to reach out, you need to speak to as many people as possible, and just don't give up. You may get knocked down and there'll be a few naysayers, there always is, but just start knocking on doors, start asking questions. You'll get lots of no's, but if you don't ask, you're not going to know, and just don't give up on a good idea. Having the support from a group like FRRR meant the world for everything that we're doing for us and our community.
We've got some clients who their animal is their life. They're literally living for the animal, and if we can make it easier for them to look after that animal, then the obvious thing is that they live longer and they're happier.
The benefit of having animals in our lives can not be overrated. It is, until they're not in our lives, we don't fully understand the gap that leaves, and also the conduit they can be with a stranger on the street. You'll stop and have a bit of a chat, and it is part of our social fabric. Animals just make us better people, and we're here to help our elderly community and our financially disadvantaged community have that same inclusiveness, because we're not a community unless we're all included.